Yvonne was born in Philadelphia and raised from the age of 6 to the age of 16 by her grandparents in Casey, South Carolina. Her grandparents were the late Reverend Julius Felder and Carrie Lee Nelson Felder. While living with Reverend Felder, she learned the importance of community and civil rights. Yvonne says that she never realized the importance of his work until she was an adult. To her, he was just granddaddy.
That's right, old granddaddy.
She received her nursing license in Philadelphia and worked for 31 years with the Veterans Administration Hospital, and she retired in 2016. Presently, she is still working as an agency nurse part-time. She was married to the late Sheldon Smith for 27 years until his death in 2023. She embraced the idea of community service and was one of the founding members of the Julius Felder Coalition for Change and was instrumental in creating the Julius Felder Community Garden. She is a dear friend of mine. She is chairman of the African American Committee of the Casey Historical Museum. Her goal is to always make sure that African American stories of Casey are told. Here is Yvonne Smith.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I had something different planned for this legacy of Renee, but Pamela Sultan's daughter was able to find a recording that he did for the Behind the View documenting African American life in the Jim Crow South Project, and it was done by Duke University. And with this interview, I learned so much more about him. It was like a whole different person. And I was like, what did we do? So, first of all, I just want to give you a little bit of his history. He was born on December 25th, 1912, and died on June 8, 2000. He was the son of the late Toby and Angeline Felder and was born in Fort Knott, Calhoun County, And see, that's also something that's different. I always thought he was born in St. Matthews. He was a founding member of New Life Missionary Baptist Church, where he was licensed to preach. While at New Life, he serves as the chairman of the Deacon Board for 25 years, president of the Usher Board, superintendent of the Sunday School for 29 years, founder of the Countywide Usher Board, and president for 9 years. He serves as a field worker for the Mount Hebrew Progressive Association for many years. His community involvement consisted of being president of the Casey Community Savings Club for 50 years, a member of the Freeman Hill Lodge Masons for 40 years, and president of the Casey West Columbia branch of the NAACP for 22 years.
How many jobs he had?
I don't know how he had time to do it. He was instrumental in the drive to get Black people registered to vote in the early 1970s, and also drove people to the polls who did not have transportation. There's some more things he did. He served as president of the Austin Wilkes Society for 25 years. The Austin Wilkes Society helped families of inmates when they were in prison and also helped the inmates when they were released. For 10 years, he was a member of the Casey Improvement League and the Lexington County Black Caucus. He was involved in helping people who needed food stamps get them, and even drove them to the food stamp office. For 6 years, he was a member of the Lexington Enrichment Agency, which he helped people get funds to pay for their bills. In 1987, he took the lead in the fight for 12th Street Extension from destroying the Pear Street community. Not many people know that 12th Street was supposed to go right down Pear Street. That's where it was supposed to be. But when you look at it now, it looks like it should have been over there in the first place. But they decided they wanted to destroy the Black neighborhood. And they didn't think we were paying attention. But we were paying attention. And we had Miss Ella, she was very involved in it too.
Where's
she
she at?
went to all the meetings and
Right now, you go,
talked to
girl.
all the different people and stuff. And
Proud of
at
you.
first, I don't think Renee knew exactly what they were doing, because it got around, they thought that he had sold out the neighborhood. But then when he realized what it was, and it was coming through his front door, it was a different thing. So they got into it and thereby got the 12th Street extension where it is right now. Okay, in response to a petition by the citizens of Casey in October of 1993, Pear Street was renamed to Julius Felder Street to honor him for his many years of helping to improve his community.
But he was a little gangster, huh?
That's it. Like Andy said earlier, he was just granddaddy. I didn't realize what he was doing. I
Remarkable.
remember being a little girl, I always had a pretty good handwriting. I had my little clipboard, and we'd be going around the country, registering people to vote. And a lot of times the people couldn't even write, so they would put their little X, and they would send it on. There were a few things, like I said, mentioned earlier, that I didn't really know about him. I never knew that he worked in the rock quarry for many, many years. And Granddaddy was a gambler. He said he was dice sharp by 10 years old.
That's why he had so many jobs?
And there was a time when he got married. He married, her name was Carrie Lee Nelson. They got married on a Monday, and by Friday, the rock quarry where he was working closed down, everybody got laid off. So he wasn't able to work from 1931 to 1935, but he was gambling.
Pay no bills.
So Mama had a job cleaning the lady's house, and she was making $2 a week. So he was gambling to keep them going. And there, at that time, his mother, his father, and one of his sisters were living with them. So what Granddaddy on here said, one of them days, one of them weeks I made like $12, $13. So I went to the store, spent $7 on grocery, and Mama got to keep her $2 a week. Yep. Now, some of the places that they said that he worked, I kind of heard Anchor. Is anyone familiar with that? Anchor, okay. Mr. Green knows that. He worked in the rock quarry for about 27 years. He was in the military, in the Navy, but he was only there for a year because he got sick. And then he was a mason, the French Hill Lodge, which is down on, yeah. He was there from 1959 to 1994. Let's see. This is when he was talking about, and I'm going to refer to this because it was just fascinating to me. This is when they were talking about the 12th Street extension, and he said he didn't know anything about it. The whole community turned on me, said I sold them out, and they had the meeting. Everybody was against me. Then they realized he was for them, so they all came back to him. And the interviewer said that was the plan, divide and conquer, which is what we've been doing
forever.
Yeah. Now he was, like I said, he was doing a lot of gambling.
But he handled his business. He handled his business.
But like he said, he was dice sharp at 10 years old.
Now I know where I got it from.
Now, he lived with his mother and father at first, and his father had a farm. They originally were going to Fort Knox, and then they came to Orangeburg. And then he got a job working with his father, but he was still gambling. And his father found his stash. He had money, pistols, knives, a whole bunch of stuff. So his father found it, and you can't have money like that in his house, not at Mr. Toby's house. So he put him out. So he was on his own at 10 years old.
That's amazing, man. That's a good hustle, okay.
Yeah, so he went to a place called Edgefield, he said. He worked in a rock quarry and he did different things. He met a friend of his and they kind of got together and worked with a road gang. And then eventually, about 2 years later, he was able to come back home. Now this one, we're going to talk about New Life, how New Life got started. New Life Baptist Church, which is right down Julius Felder Street. They were all members of Mount Pleasant, which is over on that side. Well, they had a pulpit aide that pulpit aide felt like they were responsible for the pulpit and for the pastor. Well, during the course of building, the pulpit aide decided there was a crack on the pulpit, so they needed to buy a rug. So they spent $8 of their money and built the rug, and the deacons had a fit. They locked them out. They said, no, none of that money should have gone for the pulpit. And they were saying, no, that's what we're supposed to do. So they left there, and they decided to start New Life Baptist Church.
Over a rug?
Over $8.
But the thing is, it was all because of that $8 rug.
$8.
So he got the pastor of Mount Pleasant to be their pastor first, and they had a few other ones after that. And then now he talks about joining the NAACP. To join the NAACP, you had to have 50 cents. So he would, because he stopped giving me
Yeah, a job.
So he started, he would save his little dimes and save his little dimes until he got 50 cents. He sent there and he got his NAACP card and he was just proud as he could be. And every time somebody would give him a hard time, he would whip out that card.
Recognize.
Yeah, he said, they thought I was a man or something. They write all these letters. I couldn't read them. I'd just take them and put them in there, put them in my drawer. But I got so many letters. But the people thought he was doing something like, so they were watching him. So he was involved. Yeah. Later on, he said Martin Luther King came by the Improvement League. He was also a member of the Improvement League, and he made him the president. And then after Mr. King got killed, then they started different people, and everything started kind of getting real hairy. So he became really active in the NAACP, in the Casey branch. But then they put Casey and West Columbia together, so they were all together. Let's see. Now, when he got married, he met, I don't call her mama, but her name was Carrie Nelson. He met her because, with his gambling, he got this night watchman. He was a white man. He won all his money, so the white man was mad. So he went to his friend to borrow some money, and his friend told him no, and he got an axe and killed the man.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so Renee was like, so the interviewer asked him, so did you get in trouble with it? He said, I was at the movies with my mama. I ain't had But he did have to go and testify at an inquest. And when he went to court, that's where he met her. So they were thinking that she was involved in the court, but she just happened to be by the courthouse. And so he said they dated for 6 months, and then they got married. And he was.
He was a gangster up there, huh?
Well, I guess when you know, you know. Part of the NAACP getting organized had to do with the school board. There was a teacher, a black teacher, who was trying to integrate, and they weren't really happy with her. They were trying, she had a group of white and black kids trying to get together, and they wanted to fire her. So that's how the NAACP for Casey got involved. But they were putting out the kids that were in the school, they were putting them out. So they had meetings and did whatever they needed to do, and then they got the kids back in school. Really, it could be kind of smart when you wanted to do. The interviewer was asking him where he was born, and he said, Fort Mott. He called it everything but Fort Mott, everything but Fort Mott. So he said, is Fort Mott still here? Renee said, yeah, 100 years ago it was still here. And I actually brought in some of his plaques. So he had them up on the wall at the house, and the interviewer said, well, why did they give you all these plaques, and why? He said, they wasn't up there for good behavior. So, he called it